All right, grammar detectives, welcome. Today we're on a mission to solve a grammar mystery. We're going to find the hidden clues inside English tenses that will totally unlock your power to tell richer, more compelling stories. So let's dive right in. Every good mystery starts with a puzzle, and here's ours. What really happened here? The answer is hiding in plain sight, tucked away in just a single word. It's time to crack the case. Okay, so take a look at this. On the left, we've got story A. When the doctor arrived, the patient died. Pretty straightforward, right? First the doctor shows up, then the patient dies. A sad, simple sequence. But now, look at story B. One tiny little word is added, had. When the doctor arrived, the patient had died. And just like that, bam, the entire story flips. The meaning is completely different. How can one little word have that much power? Well, that's the exact mystery we're here to solve. So our very first clue is all about the timeline. To solve this thing, we're going to need a special tool. Think of it like a grammatical time machine that lets us talk about something that happened before another event that is also in the past. We need to unlock this idea of a past before the past. And here it is, our first tool for the detective kit, pulled straight from the evidence file. It's called the past perfect tense. Now, the secret to its power is, believe it or not, super simple. The formula is just the word had plus the past participle of a verb. Words like gone, seen, or in our case, died. That's it. That is the key that unlocks the timeline. So what's its job? What does it actually do? Well, its one and only mission is to send a crystal clear signal that an action was already finished before another past action even started. It's that time machine that lets you say, whoa, hold on, before this happened, something else had already happened. And this timeline shows it perfectly. Let's use this example. When Sarah arrived at the party, Dave had already gone home. Look at the timeline. First, way back in the past, Dave went home. Then, a little later, but still in the past, Sarah arrived. The past perfect, that had gone, makes that sequence of events absolutely undeniable. No confusion. Okay, it's time for a showdown. Let's put our new tool, the past perfect, head-to-head with the old classic, the past simple, and see exactly how they solve our original mystery. And as our evidence file here shows, there's a good reason these two get compared all the time, because the difference between them is absolutely crucial. One tells a story like a simple checklist, one thing after another. The other layers that story with crucial background information. And there it is, case closed on this one. The past simple creates that linear sequence. The doctor arrived, then the patient died. But the past perfect? It reveals a totally different timeline. The patient was already gone before the doctor even walked through the door. That one word, had, changes everything about the doctor's role in this tragedy. Our first mystery is solved. But, solving the timeline is only half the battle. A really good detective needs to understand the motive. Why did something happen? So our next clue is all about explaining the why. Let's add clauses of reason to our detective toolkit. And our source material here gives us the official rulebook. We use these special phrases to connect an action to its cause. It's what gives our stories depth and logic. So let's break this down. Honestly, the choice here is pretty simple. If your reason is a full sentence, with a subject and a verb like it was raining, you're going to use words like because. But if your reason is just a noun or a noun phrase like the heavy rain, you use because of or due to. It really just depends on what kind of phrase comes next. All right, every great mystery needs a twist, right? That unexpected outcome that makes everybody lean in a little closer. For this, we need our final clue. Clauses of concession. These are the tools we use to add surprise and contrast to our stories. Let's consult the guide one last time. These clauses, just like our source text explains, are all about setting up an expectation and then completely turning it on its head. They introduce a result that's surprising or different from what you'd normally expect to happen. And guess what? The rule follows the exact same pattern we just learned. You use although or even though right before a full sentence to create that surprise. Although he was starving, he didn't take any food. That's unexpected. And you use in spite of or despite before a noun for the same effect. Despite the heavy rain, Jim went on the roller coaster. Both of these create that amazing story twist. And with that, case closed. We've gathered all the clues, we've cracked the codes, and now we've put together an incredibly powerful toolkit for advanced storytelling. You now have the power to control time, explain the motive, and create amazing, surprising twists.
So let's put all our clues together into one simple recipe for a really sophisticated sentence. Step 1. You set the background with the past perfect. Step 2. You bring in the main event with the past simple. Step 3. You explain the why with a clause of reason. And for the finale, step 4, add a surprising twist with a clause of concession.
And look at how beautifully this all comes together. Let's break this master sentence down. Although the company had lost money, there's our twist. Had lost money. That's our past perfect, the background action. They hired a new manager. That's our past simple, the main event. And why? Because they believed in the new project. There's our clause of reason, the motive. See how all the pieces just lock into place?
So, we've cracked the case, we've uncovered the secrets to telling these complex, compelling stories in English. You now have the tools to build timelines, explain motives, and deliver twists with total grammatical precision. The tools are now in your hands. So, my final question to you is this. Now that you have the toolkit, what story will you tell?